for USC in regards to post-game each and every week after the Trojans matchup, which, of course, is against the Sun Devils. And what is the game time for this one?
This is a late night game. Yeah.
Okay.
And okay, let's get this one out of the way. A little bit of a mini rant here from me, and especially since I live in Phoenix. If you're upset about this late night kick, Trojan fans, I know there are some of you who are upset. I know some of you understand this, but for those who don't, it's still really hot around. I mean, on a general scale, it's not hot by Phoenix standards, but it's still hot for most normal people. Like, it's supposed to be 95 degrees in the daytime on Saturday. So temperature at kickoff time is probably going to be around like 88. So it's great that this game is not an afternoon game. You don't want to be playing in the middle of the hot sun in late September down here in Arizona. You want the late night game when you're playing Arizona State early in the year. And just as a tangent, like, I don't understand why Arizona State doesn't play its first few September home games in Glendale in the domed stadium. I don't know why that doesn't happen. To shield the team from the weather, you have more seats in that building, and it's in climate controlled conditions. That's kind of a digression. But the larger point is, it's great for USC to have this game late at night. Let's go back to October 1, 2005. That was the Sam Keller game. Dirk Cutter, USC falls behind 21-3. It was 100 degrees. It was miserable out there in Sun Devil Stadium. And if you remember Sun Devil Stadium, obviously the site of the Fiesta Bowl, you remember what that stadium looked like on New Year's Day. There's no shade cover at all. I mean, there's a tiny little middle loge section, but it's mostly like a big upper bowl. It's a lot like the Rose Bowl, just this big naked upper bowl. There's just total exposure to the sun. There's no hiding there. And so USC went into very uncomfortable daytime conditions. That was a 12:30 kick in October of 2005. I mean, I know what it's like in early October. It's still around 100 degrees. So it's great that USC gets shielded from that midday baking sun here in Phoenix, here in Tempe. And so that's great news. And then just to carry over the time slot thing, a lot of grumbling about the 9 a.m. Pacific Los Angeles time game for Fox Big Noon Saturday against Colorado. First off, you want exposure for USC, right? You've lived through the misery of Pac-12 Network. Tim Prangley threw the goodbye Pac-12 Network bash after the Nevada game. Like, they had a freaking party to celebrate the death of a network. So we all know how bad that network is and has been for USC. And it cost the program countless degrees of exposure. So you're on Big Noon Saturday. This is the exposure you want. This is the prime slotting you want. You want the big TV ratings for your program, for your school. So get over it. You wanted exposure. You're getting it. And here's the other thing about Fox Big Noon for that Colorado game. You need to get these body clocks adjusted to Big Ten life anyway. You're going to be on Big Noon Saturday when you go to Happy Valley, when you go to Columbus, when you go to Ann Arbor next year. Great learning experience for these freshmen who are going to be playing in the Big Ten next year. So this is great for USC. Stop it with the belly aching. You wanted the exposure. You're getting it. And you even get like a little bit of a twist in terms of game preparation. So like maybe this team, which is playing these late night games, then you have to adjust to Big Noon. This gives this team something to focus on. This gives this team a sense of challenge. It gives this team a sense of, something different, something fresh, something to keep this team mentally stimulated in the midst of all these blowouts against cupcakes and teams with 30 billion injuries, such as Arizona State. I don't want to hear any belly aching about these time slots. USC is actually getting exactly the time slots it needs for these games right now.
And it really helps out. They're getting center stage. That's the desired time slot they're going to get for that game. Everyone's going to be hyped about it. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. USC is going to kill Colorado. So it's also going to look good. I mean, unfortunately, I think that the Ducks are going to take some of the shine off of Colorado, a lot of the shine off of Colorado this week, but it's going to be that kind of game that we've always wanted. We've talked about the fact, Matt, like you said, we've been buried on the Pac-12 network. Well, now we're on Big Noon, and it's going to be a great opportunity for USC. the team, this coaching staff to do some recruiting out there because everybody's eyes will be on that game. So it's a great opportunity for USC. And also really quickly, it was my idea, but unfortunately, some of you guys might know, as I go to the games, my dad's had a bad back. We're kind of got out there a little bit early. It was actually Rick that did the celebration to say goodbye after that game. And you can check it out on the post-game show. It was a great job.